lovely face up there, and we got our beautiful white people in the building. Afia is talking about one of the heartbreaking challenge. This might make me cry, and it might not, but I will be glad to share my story. We got Kamaya, of course, Zane, Cynthia, and we're going to give it to Afia.
Hello, this is Afia. Here, I'm here to talk about mental and emotional awareness. Many people who deal with this subject has often get mistreated or misjudged because of the way they handle things, and I just wanted to make sure the people out there who deal with things like that actually get a chance to be understood for a change. Did anybody have any basic questions about this subject?
How do you think mental health is portrayed in the internet?
For most people who mental health who put things like, hey, maybe certain people who have mental health issues might type a specific way, hey, and it gets on other people's nerves, but other people who don't, and then they're like, hey, why are you doing it like this? Hey, so why did you specifically say that? Or maybe some people might think that they don't understand how the internet works because of this type of things that they put on to the internet.
I got a question. How do you think mental health is affected on everybody?
Because of a lot of interesting situation, and like some people they have to deal with certain people who judge them, and so something they do that makes no sense to them. There could be somebody who has something on that they have something that they carry around specifically, and people don't understand. And like maybe somebody might carry around like a security object, like maybe it could be a doll or a stuffed animal or even a blanket of some sort, and people will look at them like, why do you carry that around? But they might just need it to help them regain their strength every now and then.
I got one more question. What's the cure for mental health, and how do you deal with it?
There is no cure. You see people do take medication and to help dial it down. For some people it doesn't work, so they just have to find certain ways to deal with it. Like maybe they might as I said before, have some type have security blanket stuffed in him or some type of tool with them, or they could have something that they read occasionally that helps them regain their mentality, or something else that or some person in their lives who just helped them.
I have one more question. So, when was the last time you had to deal with mental health, and how did you deal with it?
Well, what I did is I went into somebody who could help, specifically a friend.
I love that. This is not a, I get a mic. I got a mic. This is a comment, okay? This is a comment for you for bringing forth such a great topic to the platform. And I want to acknowledge and honor you for your knowledge about the topic. Because since I've sat here, I've heard you shared strategies of how to deal with mental health. You shared even items people can use for to help with mental health. You even said talking to a friend as an option. So this is not a question. This is a comment where I want to encourage you and thank you for bringing such a great topic to our platform. Thank you very much, Afia. Yeah, so we can keep going. Afia does not have to be the only one to talk. I want to hear from YP. What do y'all got on mental health? What you got?
I have a question.
Good job.
What advice do you give to someone that struggles with mental health?
They could talk to somebody. It's like if they're not ready to talk to their parents, they can talk to a friend and or somebody that they trust specifically about it. Even if that person might be a possible therapist. Or if they have another struggle in their life that's just causing them him a temporary situation, and that they're not actually diagnosed with, but that it could just be something that's bothering them at that moment. They could hopefully find something that could help them in the immediate time.
This is not a question, it's a comment. But I'm gonna take, because it's funny you said that they were diagnosed, because when I was growing up, they tried to diagnose me for everything. They tried to find something to diagnose me with. So they started giving me all these different kind of medicine and all this other stuff to take. So they tried to tell me that they tried to diagnose me with ADHD. And then they tried to diagnose me with the disability. And now I see why they did that, but do you think that it's an impact on me to go through those different stages of medicine?
Yes, it can be, considering the fact that if you weren't, if that isn't your exact issue and you got placed under it, then it could cause certain problems in your future with your health. Like some medications that people give you can cause you medical problems in the future. Like some can actually even cause you to possibly die in the future, or something that you do have, it can increase it instead of fix it, or just dial it down a little. So if you get hit some, because if had medication and it has side effects, and they sometimes if you look it up, you find that could actually cause a very serious problem in your future. Okay. Now, for instance, what if you took a medication for possibly OCD or ADHD, as you said? If it's not the right one, it could actually possibly make your ADHD worse. Here's if you did have it, or not, and if you didn't have it, then it could possibly give it to you instead.
Now I see where Miss Kaisha was talking about her son and that he's, disabled. I don't have nothing against disabled people because it hurts to see a child go through that, and it's hard to see it. But if I was ever to adopt a child, that's exactly what I will adopt, a disabled child, because disabled children need love too. Just because they disabled don't mean you have to stop loving your kid. And it's hard. Like in my school, there's a lot of disabled children, and it's hard for me to see it. Like I break down and cry every time I see one because they diagnose them with all this and that, and it's not fair to the parents to be paying a lot of money because they describe the child as something that they're not. Even non-disabled children, they trying to diagnose them with that now because they want their parents to pay, and it's not right. And all they doing is for money. And I feel like it's a scam because, like me, they try to say that I was disabled until I made an A on that report card that showed them that I'm not disabled. Because it's not only it can have an impact, it can traumatize you because you're taking different meds. And I've been going through this my whole life, and it's hard for me to talk about my story, but I'm glad to be able to sit here and talk about my story because it's really helping me keep pushing myself forward and not worry about the past. But once they put that in your head, it's like you're going to go back to that as you get older. But I break down and cry every time I see a child like that.
I understand why you might consider the fact that they might be going through some of the things that you went, and you can probably sympathize with what they've gone through. Or you might feel bad considering the fact that they might be going through something worse than what you originally had to go through. And you just want to make them feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, I had people laugh at me and talked about me when I was in school, like elementary days. Like I had people talk about me and make fun of me because I was in that special needs class. But that really put trauma on me because just thinking about it and talking about it, it's like, why would they make fun of me? Like, I don't being made fun of. But like I always was taught, you don't allow people to say what they want to say to you, because everybody has a feeling, and even with dogs, they got feelings. And if you talk about me, like I was a soft person, like I was a crybaby, but I overgrew that and took more power, and I growed up from it, and I was very sensitive. Like if someone talk about me, like I get on the bus crying, go all the way home, and when I growed up, I really looked up from it and right now I'm trying to achieve my goals. And one of my goals was to have a summer job, and that's what I did. I went out, found somebody that I can trust, and put my all in. And I finally found a job, and I'm happy. Now I'm proud to say that I have a job. But just thinking about and talking about it's not right to these disabled children. And like one of my cousins from North Carolina disabled, and her parents threw her out, and it's not right to do something like that to your child. Because what if she out there on her own and she don't know how to get back home? But like I always tell people, just man up and be you. Like, don't be somebody you don't want to be, because you can end up in a dangerous spot. And I don't want that for young people.
I agree. And this is a bit basic comment, or actually more so a statement. And for everybody, just because you're in a special needs class doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you specifically. It just means that you need extra help or attention, and just so you can keep up with the rest of the school year. Here, it doesn't mean that you're specifically classified as anything, and it just means that you specifically need the extra help or attention.
Exactly. And I feel like that's where all schools should be now. Like, these kids need that special treatment. Like, they need extra help. Because when they get to the real world, how they going to know how to read or do math? Because right now, everything expensive. And they need that extra someone.
I agree. And as for your cousin, I hope he is okay. And she finally finds the help that she needs. And I hope that he makes it out there.
Yeah, this world dangerous. Like, it's a lot going on now, and I don't want to see nobody struggling. So that's why I try to help people, because I don't want to see you on the street begging for money. Like, I would want to help you, even though I haven't been through it. But if I was able to go through that, I want to be able to help somebody that helped me, because everybody needs help in this world.
Any more questions?
That makes sense. What do you think about undiagnosed people who needs to be diagnosed?
I think that they should get diagnosed when they're ready, but also hopefully somebody's there to give them the extra encouragement. And the ones that could, or if that person's not ready at that moment, but they have people that they trust, hopefully those people are willing to give them the extra help that they need. And if that person's not ready to hear that they have problems, don't directly say you have a problem. Probably have something to help them every now and then, or just be on their right side, to give them the extra encouragement.
Yeah, it's like, it's more to this world. Like, it's a bunch, like, you got a lot of mental health people out there in the world that's struggling and going through it. So they trying to find that right box to go in. And right now, I'm just trying to tell people, like, be yourself. Like, every good thing is going to come about just being yourself. Like, me playing basketball, I never knew how to dribble a ball. I never knew how to put a ball in the basket until now. And as I'm still growing up, I'm still starting to find my path. And I'm starting to find that right path.
How do you think stigma plays a role in how young people view getting help when they're struggling with a mental health concern?
But stigmatization is mostly how people react to certain things, but that it can but it could lead to clues to what could be wrong with the person. But at the same time, it could also help you to figure out how to help them. Like you could pay attention to the person and then figure out what they need. Or you could just take the time to listen to him and figure it out. But it's not the end of the world. Because if the person has something that they do or something that they're struggling with, his being there to help them is the right thing to do.
So if you think about stigma as a negative perception of a person, an unfair belief that society has about a group of people, say young black males, people with a mental health diagnosis, how do you think that affects people's willingness to seek help?
I think it makes them very questionable about even coming forth about needing help because because if they know they have a problem and they want to get help, they're going to be afraid to do so because they know how other people are going to see them because of what type of help they have or what type of help they need.
Go ahead.
I have a question, but I don't even know if it makes sense. The question is, how do you feel about people committing like suicide, for example, because like mental health, like depression, anxiety, or whatever?
I think that those people have a right to their things, but they shouldn't automatically jump to the idea of death. That's yet because the possibility is that he can get help for what they have. Even if they don't want to go through the dramatics of it, hopefully they can find somebody who's at least able to bring them back to a certain thing or something that they remember that made them feel comfortable or safe, and bring them back to a certain situation. And there is a number a speed dial number that can help with that, and it's called Help is Available. It's called the Suicide Crisis Lifeline, and the number is 988.
Do you think suicide is selfish?
Not exactly. It can be. If the reason for why the person is choosing to commit suicide, if they just want to teach somebody else a lesson or something, then that can be selfish. I'm not in your life. Be like, now I'm not in your life, and you get more. What you gonna do about it? Because in the end, they're not gonna be able to see how that person reacted to the fact that they're no longer there. So they kind of just sort of made a bad move in a way. Not to say that person didn't have a right to feel what they were feeling, but like they want to appreciate it or something. But it can't. But that could kind of blow up in their face in a way. Because if you wanted to find out how somebody would feel if if you were no longer there might be a nicer, safer way to do it. Or if there was, if it was a person who kills himself because they're really hurting and they don't see a way out of it, that doesn't mean that they're being selfish. It means that they're struggling to find the people that they need or something that they need in order to bring back the extra help that they are concerned with.
Sometimes I don't think people should commit suicide at all because sometimes it's sad to the people that you leave behind. Don't you think?
Yes, that is true. But it does. But to have some people who are dealing with stuff like that, sometimes they don't have anybody who's actually looking over their shoulder to make sure that they're okay. Probably most times they're actually surrounded by the people who actually probably hope that they died. Or they have something in their head telling them that they should have died years ago because of the way the people around them treat them. And so they don't know that the people around them actually do care about them, so they feel that they have a better chance of getting out than staying in.
What do you think is the leading biggest mental health thing, like depression, anxiety, or whatever? I'm trying to think. I don't know how to phrase it.
There are many different illnesses, or mental disorders that could lead to a certain things like that. But the main one that I'd have to say is probably depression, and because it's a deep, because that's a phase of a very deep, strong feeling of being upset or sad, and sometimes you don't even know why. So you're just wondering why. And you're just going to a complete doomsday level. And then if you have nobody there they take you out of there. Nobody or nothing there to keeps you out of that position, and you could go into a very dark area, and then you might just actually do something.
That's a lot, and when I lost my great grandmother, I was little, and it still catches up on me today. And that's the one thing that I'm dealing with is mental health. Because she died when I was little, like baby wise, and just seeing her in that casket, it wasn't a great thing. Like I poured down tears, and this is a heartbreaking story because I lost my great grandmother, somebody that helped me, somebody that really basically took care of me. And now that I see that she's gone, it's just like she basically was my mom. Like that was like a second mom because like she basically changed my diaper. Like she was the one that I go to on the weekends when my mom's not around. Like if my mom was going to one of her friends, she the first person that I go to. Even when I needed to cry on her shoulder, she was there. Like she was always in that. She was always there for me. Like she never left. If she go to the store, I'm right behind her. She told me one day, she was like, remember that I will always love you, and I have it back. And right after she said that, I knew something was wrong. And that was the last thing she told me before she left. And I took it because it was that time it was a heartbroken moment. Like when Miss Kaisha said her son got shot in the foot, I went home crying, and cause it's hurtful to even go through that with your child, your loved one, your baby, and it's hard. It's hard to see somebody's child get shot, and I love Miss Kaisha. Like she's one of the reasons why I didn't leave FSO.
I love y'all too, all of y'all. Y'all are amazing. I love y'all too.
Like I would actually want to meet her son one day because every child needs love, even with their mom or without their mom. Everybody that if y'all watch us, come to what is this? YP. Come to YP. I'm telling you, we share one of the greatest moments, even if it's heartbroken or not. We share them great moments, and hopefully this goes around even longer. And I would love to see new people here. Like I would love to see us back on the road again. Because before this, it was a lot of people here, and this is like my second home. This is where I could come cry if I needed to cry. This is everybody in this room is my peers. I love everybody in this room. And if anything happens, I'm standing on it because these are my family members. These are my brothers and sisters. These who I'm gonna fight for. These is my people. Can't nobody say that we not family, because we are. These my cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever you want to call it. I'm there for every last one of these students in this room. And I'm glad that mom chose this program because this is a good program. And I'm not going nowhere, and I hope nobody go nowhere. Because if everybody leave YP, you have to come back. You have to. This is the perfect program that we share. We laugh. We talk. We go on trips. Like this PA trip, I've never been to PA. This is my first time going. And I want everybody to show up, even if you're not a part of YP. Show up and show love, because we need that. YP is about happiness. The YP is about happiness and love. And we bring the love to the table every time.
Hey, I'm very happy to hear you say all of those things. And happy you were able to get a lot of stuff that was clearly bottled up in your system off your chest.
And this is my first time ever talking about my story, and I was glad to get it off my chest because I never could talk about it because everybody will laugh at me, and you know, they'll tell me I'm wrong, but at the end of the day, we are right. And we're going to show us young people that these is the people you want to come to. This is who y'all want to talk to. Because everybody need love. Everybody, not just one person. Everybody need love. And this whole world should have love. And we're going to spread that love with YP. I love you too, Mr. Brooke. It's 6:58, so we're going to wrap up. I got a special song that I want to share. And this song is actually dedicated to Miss Kaisha and her son. And I'm praying for him, and I'm hoping he gets well day by day. But this is a song that's dedicated to them.
Want me to sing it?
Alright, YP, this is the end of RYYZN. I hope y'all enjoyed. And we are out of here.
I'll never tell. Yeah, I like you, that's for sure. Never have to close the door. Been a long